Good morning. I'm Lars Olson, and this is Quiet Echo for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Yesterday, George Kahn told us about Gloria Gaynor, the 91-year-old grandmother in Pennsylvania who's being evicted from her home. She paid off her mortgage, did everything right, lost it anyway. Over $3,500 in unpaid property taxes. This morning, a reader, Jesse Swenson, wrote in with an idea, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Jesse asked, what if property tax were calculated on the value of the loan instead of the value of the house, and if you paid off the loan completely? No tax at all? It's a carpenter's kind of question. Simple, practical, aimed right at the root of the problem. Here's what Jesse is getting at. Under our current system, you never really own your home. You can work for 30 years, make that final mortgage payment, frame the satisfaction letter, and hang it on your wall, and the tax bill still comes, every year, forever. Miss a payment, and they can take what you spent a lifetime building. That's not ownership. That's rent you never stop paying. Jesse's idea flips the script. Tax the debt, not the asset. If you owe $200,000 on your mortgage, that's your tax base. Pay it down to $50,000, your taxes drop. Pay it off entirely, and the tax goes to zero. You'd actually own what you own. Now, I've been building things for 40 years. When someone asks me to solve a problem, I don't just grab a hammer. I think it through. So, let's think this one through. Some will ask about renters, but a wise landlord with lower costs can lower rents, stay competitive, and keep good tenants longer. The market has a way of sorting these things out when you let it. Some will ask about new buyers carrying more of the load. But that's how it's always worked. You start small. You build equity. You work your way toward owning something free and clear. That's not a flaw in the system, that's the path. And some will ask about revenue. Two thoughts on that. First, government agencies do better budgeting when the money is harder to come by. Easy revenue makes for lazy spending. Second, other sources exist. Property taxes aren't the only way to fund schools and roads there, just the way we've gotten used to. The movement to end property taxes focuses on owner-occupied homes and, for good reason. This is about families. About people who've worked and saved and sacrificed to put a roof over their heads. It's about the widow on Maple Street who shouldn't have to choose between her medications and her tax bill. Back on January 6th, Caleb Mercer wrote about abolishing property taxes entirely. I followed up a few days later with a different approach. A 30-year homestead exemption. Live in your home for 3 decades, and the tax phases out. You've paid your dues. Now you get to keep what you built. Jesse's idea is in the same spirit. Tax the debt, not the home. Reward people for paying down what they owe. Give them something to work toward. The details matter, but so does the principle. And the principle Jesse is pointing toward is this. If you work hard, play by the rules, and pay off your home, you ought to actually own it. Not rent it from the county. Own it. Gloria Gaynor did everything right. She came to this country with nothing. She bought a house. She paid the mortgage. And now she's being wheeled out of her own living room because the system decided her $3,500 mattered more than her 30 years of payments. That's not a system worth defending. That's a system worth fixing. Keep the ideas coming, Jesse. That's how things change, one question at a time, from folks who aren't afraid to ask why we do things the way we've always done them. I'm Lars Olson, and this has been today's Quiet Echo. Thanks for listening. By the way, Jesse is a real person, not a character I made up. He read George's column yesterday and sent in his idea. That's how this works. Cedar Valley may be fictional, but the conversation is real. If you've got something to say, we want to hear it. Lars Olson, Teresa Nikas, and the whole Cedar Valley community first came together in Quiet Echo. When loud voices divide, quiet ones bring together. If you want to know how a small town found its way from fear to fellowship, one quiet act of courage at a time, you can find it on Amazon. Link in the show notes.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open.